All praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Vakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone who drew well and teach well in sincerity, taught us this truth. And Shalawam to the Lord, so for elect. Alright. It's your brother Yomi Kazak back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. I'm just testing out this screencast. And let me see, man. Okay, let me go. Hi, I want to go into this little video I just watched. Alright, and just real quick hit on this one, but this should be known, for brothers and on a health tip. So I'm gonna let a little bit of it play, and then we're gonna go into it.
After I work out, I'm up. I don't eat though.
I don't know how you do that.
This is gonna be the first meal I eat.
But so your head don't be hurting or nothing?
No, I don't have. I'm not acidic, and I don't have parasites in my body. That's the parasites, the candida, making you eat because they live off sugar. Like when you get the craving sugar and you want a sweet tooth, you got a sweet tooth. I want something sweet. That be that. Parasites in your body.
How you get parasites? Man, the bully, appreciate that 10. How you get parasites?
All kind of ways you can get parasites. You can get parasites from kissing an unclean. Transferred through saliva. Somebody that sleep in the bed with a dog and all that, you get parasites.
Damn. And
that's why we take black seed oil. That's why we take, oregano oil and things like that. Wormwood. That's why we detox our bodies. Fasting is what cleanses the body of all impurities.
And Salakia, I want to see the comments, but
damn, I want to try fasting out.
Yeah, you can get parasites. I ain't understand that. Like people say, you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. Well, the little parasites, that the same things that be in dogs, it be in humans too.
That's crazy.
They got parasitic cleanses you could do, but like I said, I like the black seed or oregano or wormwood. I like all of the bitters.
Yeah, that oregano oil shit disgusting.
I take it every day.
And what does it do to you? Like, because I want to get into like vitamins.
I'm on that type of. I got oregano oil probably in my bag. I carry it with me.
How much you drink?
Shit, I take about 2 or 3 drops. I just let it go. And then it's gonna burn when you first start, but after that you're gonna get used to it. Black seed oil gonna have a funny taste to it at first, but that's not you not liking it. That's when you go, I don't like the way this tastes. That's parasites. They die.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the video. Alright, they just go into it a little bit. So everything they said was true. You know what I'm saying? Dang, move this over here. And it won't let me hit the A for some reason. Like I'm saying, I'm just trying out this screencast. So Salakia, if I'm a little off on maneuvering. But let's go to Colossians 3rd chapter verse 10. And I have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him, where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Hamashiach is all and in all. And this is speaking about all Israelites. Okay? So that new man, just really a similitude of that is when you start cleansing out your body and start going into that new man, right? Physically, but also spiritually, it's going to come with a little kickback of, well, dang, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that. But you got to remember the laws, the commandments are not grievous. Let's get that. All right, 1 John, you can just type it in. 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of power, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So the commandments aren't, super complicated to keep, right? And the more you do it, the more of a habit habitually it becomes you, right? It's like you're trained. You're trained to do the stuff. So it's growing into you. That's what it's called. That's what Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi means by writing it in your heart on this side, right? In this wicked flesh. You got to write it in your heart. You got to understand it, and you got to train it. So when somebody comes with some pork or something, you automatically like, yeah. You automatically reading the back of labels and analyzing stuff and checking stuff, right? So you're trained into this. You're growing into a better individual, man. And that's very important when you're coming into this truth. You got to go into that new man. All right. Now those parasites, as they was going to go into the video a little bit, they actually alter your mood and alter how you are. Okay? So you have to be very careful dealing with all this stuff. Now, this is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 37:30. For excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn into chola. Because the meats, it's extreme amounts of parasites in meats, sugar, dairy, and starch. Okay? So it will alter your mood and change your mood. Because these parasites, these things can give you certain urges and make you yearn for stuff that you normally wouldn't yearn for. Right? This is Ecclesiasticus 38:4. Yahawah hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Abhor mean to put away. You're not going to put them away if you're wise. So you're going to take the black seed oil. You're going to take the oregano oil. You're going to take the soursop. You're going to take the parsley, the cilantro. You're going to cleanse your blood. You're going to do your best to in this wicked flesh. You're going to fast. You're going to detox. Right? So you don't want to abhor from these medicines that are naturally created by Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Because everything that the Father, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi has created, Yahawah created Yahawashi, and Yahawashi created everything else. Everything that was created is good. It is to the benefit of mankind, right? Of the sons of God, the sons of man, and even the sons of the wicked, man. Okay? These herbs and things out here is to help the creature in that sense. All right? And at the end of the day, Yahawah gives the healing. This is verse 9. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, and he will make thee whole. Okay? So we don't worship plants. We don't worship no damn stones. We don't worship holistic healing. Okay? We worship Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Alright? In Salakia, man, I'm doing a screencast so I cannot see the comments. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm hitting this little button up here. And I don't see no comments. Maybe it ain't no comments, but that's, hey, I hope this has been edifying. Alright, I want to go into a little bit more. Let's go into the worm, the trachela worm. Trick right there. Right? I was going into it last week. Alright. So this is the worm that's in the swine, the pig. So read it. Yes, Tricinella Tricinella spiralis, the parasite responsible for trichinosis, can enter the brain and cause a condition called encephalitis or brain inflammation. And this is that worm, that parasite is found in the swine. Okay, in severe cases, trichinosis, the larva can travel through the body and invade the brain, leading to neurological complications, which can actually be deadly to you. So yes, you can unalive, you can die from eating pig, man. Okay, this is why Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi told you not even to touch the animal, because just off of touching, you can encounter parasites. Okay, so it's detrimental to you to even touch the pig. How much more if you eat it? You touching it, you might get some parasites. You eat it, you definitely are getting some parasites. And these are those parasites that can invade your brain. Right? Okay? It's a round worm, tapeworm, round worm, that causes trichinosis, a parasitic disease acquired by consuming undercooked meat, And that's what these Edomites like. Let me get my steak medium rare. Let me get my steak medium. Nah, man. You get that shit well done. Okay? Well done. Period. All right? Undercooked meat. And you can't. Don't think that you can cook the parasites out of pork. No, you can't. To cook them out, you have to cook them at 1500 degrees. And none of your stoves, none of your ovens go up to that level. Okay? And this is an unclean animal in the beginning in the first place. So you should not be partaking in that. The shrimp, the lobster, the crab, all these type of these animals, they're not ordained for you to eat. All right? Now look at it. It says particularly pork, but also other meats like wild game according to the centers, the CDC. All right? Once ingested, the larvae hatch in the intestines and migrate. So you're basically eating an egg of parasites, larva. It hatches to be born. The larva hatches in the intestines and migrates, makes its way through the bloodstream, reaching various tissues, including skeletal muscles and organs like the heart, the lungs, and the brain. So it's basically, given a path to travel into all these different organs. This is where you got inflammation, you got arthritis. All that is parasites. Okay? You're feeling aches and soreness. You're feeling fatigue in the gut. That's a parasite. All right? You're feeling all this type of stuff that you do not supposed to feel. When you fast, brothers that fast, sisters that fast, when you fast, man, you feel fresh. You feel light. You feel good. It's a great feeling to feel like that. In a sense, you feel closer to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And this is why you fast in the first place. Because Yahawashi is not here, and with his presence, but he's here in spirit, and we fast to get closer to him. When he's here, we ain't gonna have to fast at all because he's here. He's with us. You know what I'm saying? All right. A little bit more in this. Brain involvement. The larva can cause inflammation and damage to the brain, leading to symptoms like headaches, confusion, and seizures. How much more for like little kids, bro? You got your little kid eating some bacon and shit. They bodies ain't even fully developed. So automatically it's on them. You wondering why they got this, why they got that, and you giving them all this sugar. That's why you got child diabetes now. That never used to be heard of. Children getting diabetes, but now you giving them all this sugar, all these starches, all this stuff that they don't supposed to be eating. I remember, man, in school they used to try to give us the white milk. It'll make me throw up. And I couldn't mess with the white milk. All that stuff, and that maybe it was the spirit or something, but it was protection. All right. Okay, so headaches, confusion, and seizures. In severe cases, brain inflammation can lead to encephalitis and neurological defects. All right. So you have to fast and clean out the body. Going back to coming into that new man. All the stuff that you was doing in the world, you have to leave it behind. Eating habits, late night snacking, you know what I'm saying? Overindulging. You have to actually address the issue of, dang, these urges may not actually be me, but it may be my parasites talking about eat, eat, eat. Right? In the same sense, like demons be like, do this, do that. Go back and do this. It ain't gonna hurt. Go back and do that. It ain't gonna hurt. All right? You gotta fight that flesh. Meaning you gotta fight your conscience. You gotta fight these thoughts. You gotta fight these things that are trying to trigger sin and try to trigger harm to your body. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, man. It's been a quick one. Just trying to test out the screencast. If anybody did comment, I can. So Salakia. But hey, I hope this was edifying. All right, 144. I just saw it. Hey. So hey, man. With that being said, all praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone that rule well and teach well and sincerely taught us this truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. Hey, Shalawam, as always, Kwam Yasharahla and a Bible ball to this wicked kingdom. May this bitch fall soon, man. Shalawam.